So
7%?
okay, so
Go for
CPI, the CPI data came out today, right? Everyone was watching the stock market because, usually CPI stuff, and CPI stands for Consumer Price
So
Index.
did it affect the stock market today at all, or
It did, but like
nothing crazy?
I can't even say it. Like not that much. So
Negligible.
yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming that it wasn't that crazy of a.
It
Shock?
apparently it hit expectations.
Okay.
So
So then, it wouldn't make sense if anything
it's
crazy
like,
would have
it's
happened.
like a stock hitting earnings where
Yeah,
if
so-
it hits it, nothing really happens.
Yeah.
It's just maybe in the little like fine print on the earnings reports that people freak out about. But other than that, it's not too bad. But so the CPI data, they had it as a 0.6 inflation in May. So prices increased 0.6%. And so and they labeled that as like a 5% inflation rate for if they were to take the April or the May percentage and multiply it by like 12 or they do like a calculations and it got around 5% inflation for April.
So 5% inflation
May.
for what?
I don't know why I keep on saying April, but so 5% inflation just like
in general, annual inflation. Okay,
Annual
quarterly
inflation.
like this quarter, or just
no annual. So
okay.
So they take the month. They take the month's inflation and then they do a measurement that goes into like the 12-year year-over-year type stuff, and that came out to 5%. So and that can change very fast. So last month's in April, for instance, it had it as like 4.2%, I think. Steven has the piece of paper right there. So it can change relatively quickly. So that 5% inflation, if you actually go into the data, it was largely propped up by the airline fares because they're kind of recovering from COVID still. So the airline fares were at like 7% just in that month. So year over year is like 23%. So it really propped up that 5% year over year.
I'm curious. Why did you look this up? Like, what made you want to look it up? Did you like? I'm assuming you knew about it today because you're pretty into the stock market. Were people talking about it?
So a lot of people were talking about it on Reddit and things like that. So
do you follow Wall Street Bets?
Not long term.
What's the best Reddit site?
No, they were just worried about before it came out.
Okay.
So so that CPI, that 5% inflation was propped up by airline fares, like I said, and the used car market, which was also at 7% for that.
Is the used car market crazy everywhere in the U.S. or is it kind of just in Florida?
So
southeast.
So they, I think it's everywhere. That 7% is everywhere. So 7% in May was everywhere. Now they do go into details about if I printed off it was a 30-page or a 38-page report.
Did you read the whole thing before you got here?
No.
What?
I just read that the first like 3 pages of it. And so they actually go into detail about regions of they calculate on regions and things like that. So you have southeast, like southwest,
okay,
things like that.
That makes sense.
They do separate it in that instance, but I didn't really look at that stuff. I was just looking at the average. So yeah.
So the Consumer Price Index comes out from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics once a month.
Yeah, every month it comes out. And like I said, that.
So what was the change from last month to this month?
6.0 or 0.6% last month.
So if you look on that month, it has everything increased by 0.6%. So May.
So it went down then.
It did
right?
go down. So in April it was at 0.8.
April it was the highest it's been all year, right?
Yeah. So now, for some reason, in April they had the average consumer price for all items at 4.2%. Says it on the thing. It was a 4.2, I think, and so this month is 5%. So it can change pretty fast. So per month.
Yeah, see right here, inflation speeds up in April as consumer prices leap 4.2%, and that's the fastest since 2008.
Yeah. So yep.
2008. Dun dun dun.
That's insane. So that kind of gives me, and I'm not, like an avid stock trader, but knowing that, it makes me realize, like, wow, so many people are watching this because they're thinking they can take advantage of just the out of control CPI as it directly plays into the stock market.
So what's funny is that you can actually go into each one. A 38-page report. They have charts for days on there about each consumer item. So you can actually go into and see which like items are overpriced and which items are.
How did you take a look? Like, is there anything that?
So like all meat products are like like 1% overpriced right now, or I'm not too sure, but I noticed like
obviously like lumber right now. Obviously, lumber right now, right, is crazy. Is very overpriced.
Yes.
Wood, any building material.
Yeah. So.
Did you guys hear about how, on the topic of meat providers, the JBS, the world's biggest meat producer, was hacked by potentially the same group that hacked the pipeline, and they paid $11 million in cybercrime ransom. Yeah, and ransomware is the category.
They paid the ransom so they could just go away.
$11 million.
Can't they just like go back and ask for more money?
Nothing to prevent them. But they think I think the FBI released something saying how they're thinking it's the same group that did the ransomware attack on the pipeline. So they just wire them $11 million. It's all crypto.
Really?
What if like the meat company didn't even know how to use crypto, like to transfer money like that?
Which company? The hacking company?
No, the meat company.
There's always like smart people in those types of places. People that gamble on crypto and know how to do it.
I think because with the FBI so closely involved, they
That's
were
crazy.
offering. I think the White House offers guidance, and I don't really. That's definitely not our area of expertise, but I mean. Just in the past, this article was updated.
What if it hurt? It could hurt like the logistics, companies too.
Any large company that has a vulnerability like that. I mean,
isn't that crazy? They just like hack into through the firewall.
I could get $11 million pretty easily just by hacking into.
Just by threatening to publicize a lot of company internal corporate data. And I was talking to one of my IT friends about it. He said it could be as simple as, like one person in the company clicks on a phishing email. You guys know what phishing is? It's like where you click on a link you weren't supposed to, and it can just scale up the chain from there. And
the
I
African
thought that's
king
insane.
Is asking you for money.
It's something like that. Or I mean, I'm probably be like a little more like complicated, but it's still something that's going on.
Maybe like the CEO or something like. Or like someone in the server like room or department or
I'm getting some pretty sketchy emails through my real estate email now that like my name and email are like on all the real estate websites.
Oh yeah.
So it's like join me to do this.
I assume it's probably like dealers on Facebook, that type of stuff.
And it's like they literally just like it's like 3 sentences like typed.
Oh yeah.
It's so sketchy.
So, I think we should circle back to the housing portion of tonight's talk. We were talking a lot about how we're getting educated on mortgage forbearance and how that works and what that allows people to do. And I don't know, what do you guys think about the idea that all these people that kind of have been using forbearance as a way to, obviously not have to pay their mortgage for the past 6 months or the past year, however long it's been going on. But with mortgage forbearance formally as of today, supposed to end, I believe, June 30th?
Yeah, June 30th.
How do we think that's going to impact the housing market?
So, forbearance.
If we know it all, I mean, this is all kind of guessing too. So
yeah, so I think it'll have a long, no immediate effect, right?
I think it'll definitely have an effect, but it's not gonna have as big an effect like everybody thinks it's going to have.
So on here it has only about 4.18% of loans are in forbearance right now. Meaning that people
is
have,
that in Florida or nationally?
that's national. That's from the mortgage MBA. So mortgage, whatever. I should know this. I don't really know this.
Oh.
it's like National Association of
yeah. So it's
Lender
mortgage
data.
something association. But
MLS, Stephen.
Multiple
MLA.
listing service.
That's yeah, that's MLA. It would be.
yeah. It's from MBA.org. But so yeah, only about like 4.1%, or yeah. So it's not crazy the amount of forbearance homeowners right now. So yeah. But now forbearance, the way it works is, or the way it did work is, let's say a homeowner can't pay, or they're going into financial hardships. They basically contact their lender saying, "Hey, we're going into financial hardships because of COVID." That's pretty much all they have to say, and the lender has to give them a. Lenders can't ask like if any proof on if they're actually going into financial.
That's
hardship.
crazy. I feel like there should definitely be proof.
Well,
At least I
think
like
it was insane how from the start it was
like how is
honor
it not
system.
like
yeah.
like what the heck?
yeah. So so you had these people that maybe didn't need the forbearance effect, but I mean, like, there is a downside with forbearance. If you don't pay it, you have to make it up after the forbearance period
100%.
ends. And now, so let's say you go in, you apply for a forbearance. Now, the loan people that you're with, everyone has a different loan person, like loan company or
Your
whatever.
servicer.
Bank, broker,
Yeah, loan servicer, right? They will either accept or like deny you. Usually they accept. Like probably 90% of people who ask for it, they gave a forbearance. So now these loan people, they have, or the forbearance goes into effect for 6 months, so 180 days. Where and this is all like from. So as per the loan servicing, they can like defer the payments altogether or just like reduce it. And that depends on like which loan company you're with, and how good of a borrower you are, or things like that. So how risky you are.
I heard
like
somewhere
that. So,
where like banks might start giving these people 40-year mortgages.
so
I was reading about that too.
So that might be, they tack it on. So everything
Yes.
that they miss, they tack it on to the end of it, or they like basically the principal doesn't.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So yeah.
I think that goes with like 3 scenarios. Like if the mortgage is $1,000 a month and you're 6 months behind, the bank can say, I don't see anything preventing them from doing this. The one day after forbearance, they can say, okay, we need our $6,000 plus interest. B, the bank could say, okay, we need all the money you owe us plus the interest that accrued, but we're just going to add that extra, let's say $200, $300, $400 a month on to the rest of your mortgage. Or B, where I was reading about the 40-year mortgages, which is actually something that's being considered and I think already offered in some larger banks.
That's happening too.
They'll just take the money that you owe them more now and almost just extend the whole life of the loan.
Yeah.
Expecting people to not be delinquent for the rest of the loan, which delinquent is really just worst case scenario. That's making no payments at all.
Yeah. So
for that second option, you were saying, so instead of paying $1,000 a month, now you're paying like $1,100 a month, basically, until you catch up.
So for easy math, let's say I've got 10 years left on my mortgage. If I'm 6 months behind, and it's $1,000 mortgage, I owe $6,000, right? So that's about half of a year. What they would do is they would say, okay, you owe us an extra $6,000 plus the remainder of your whole loan. So we'll just divide that $6,000 by the length of the loan and add, that
120 months.
That whatever, $150 to each of those remaining 120 months or however long it is. And then you'd be paying, for the rest of the mortgage, $1,200 a month, which sounds like it's manageable, but like I'm going to play the devil's advocate here where we're thinking it won't make a big impact. I think it will, because you're talking about people that already were in the, lower income areas. They already were not quite able
struggling
to pay their
to make
mortgages.
their payments.
So an extra $200 a month on their mortgage, should the bank choose to go down that route and not do a 40-year, I think that very well could push people to delinquent status where they're like, nope, I'm just not going to pay anything at all. I'm going to sit here until the bank kicks us out and we're just going to go rent.
So what are do you know what Ginnie Mae loans are?
Yeah, it's those are government loans.
Yeah.
Ginnie Mae and Fannie. And Fannie Mae. They're government loans. It's exactly like in a FHA. Like it's insured through the government.
Okay, so
just a forewarning as we go through this official stuff, this may all be inaccurate, but
we're not specialists.
We're not good, but as of June,
it's Ginnie Mae, Freddie Mac, and Fannie Mae. It's Fannie Mae.
Or some combination of what Steven just said.
So
there's three different government bodies that lend / insure money.
Yeah. So apparently,
I think you're right though, Steven.
Like I was saying, 4% of all the loans offered by the government are in forbearance right now. So about 5% is oh wait, I might be wrong here, but the amount of loan or the share of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac loans in forbearance. So out of all of them, is only about like 2%.
What'd you say?
So the share of all Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac loans on the market right now, or that people have, only about 2% of those are in forbearance forbearance program. So maybe that 2%, and then you have the Ginnie Mae loans. About 5% of those are in forbearance. So I'm thinking the Ginnie Mae loans might be.
I think the Ginnie Mae is the one we're saying wrong. It's not Ginnie Mae. It's something else.
What's it called?
I forgot, but it's not, because I know it's Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, but it's not Ginnie Mae.
Granny Mae.
No, the Ginnie part I think is right. It's just, I don't think it's a May.
Dude, I don't know.
I don't know.
But anyway, so good. The way the forbearance works is that
I see Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and that's all I see.
No, there's one more.
There's one more though.
Just type in GINN.
Yeah. Type in GINNIE and then find.
And then
Gin?
MAE.
Ginnie.
Okay, Ginnie Mae has provided liquidity
it's Ginnie Mae.
and stability, serving as the principal financing arm for government mortgage loans.
It's Ginnie Mae, Fannie Mae.
How is Ginnie Mae different from Fannie Mae? Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac loans are typically conventional mortgages, whereas Ginnie Mae exists to solely guarantee the security of the loan. This is definitely finance stuff above all of our heads.
Yeah,
it was. It's funny. It was in my real estate textbook. It's all in there.
Well, Steven, go ahead and give us a quick explanation.
I passed a test 3 months ago, so I don't know anything now.
Circling back to Aaron, I like the numbers you're bringing out as far as like, let's look at all the people that have mortgages right now. How many of them are in forbearance? So the MBA's estimate says 2.3 million homeowners are in forbearance.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's each one of those homeowners represents anywhere from one house to 2, 3, 4 houses.
I'm thinking it might be like maybe one house.
I think it's one. It's one house.
It's kind of. I'm not exactly sure, but really, from what I'm seeing, the more important side of this is measuring what percent of that. What 3%?
How about 1%? How about what percentage of new loans are in forbearance?
Are going in forbearance?
That'd be interesting because old loans.
Like, what do you mean new loans? How long is a new loan?
So
new
during COVID,
during COVID.
So loans that were offered during COVID, how much of those are in forbearance?
I feel like
or like a year before.
Not that many, because you would have the government like knows this is happening, right?
Yeah.
Maybe, I think they're
maybe like 2 years to 3 years before, maybe. Like so,
like when COVID just started, kind of something.
Like 2016, 2017, 2018 type.
Okay, yeah, that makes more like that.
I want to know how many loans are in forbearance.
I mean, I wouldn't see the difference of something in 2016 or something in 2010.
Yeah, who knows?
But you know what I kind of just thought about is what about like commercial loans? Like how many commercial loan forbearances are there? Like I bet.
There is a multifamily forbearance.
And that's the one that has the later.
Well, what do you mean
date.
multifamily forbearance?
So people that own more than...
It's like an investment properties? Yeah. So that's commercial.
So five units.
I don't know if I'd say. Maybe that's like less than a threshold. Maybe like less than 1 million or 2 million. I feel like there's a cutoff.
Well, because there's a lot of businesses, right? That like obviously they couldn't function through COVID. So I bet...
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they couldn't pay their loans either.
Yeah.
I think the number we should be looking at is like, let's say it doesn't even matter how many people are in forbearance. It matters how many people that are in forbearance are not making payments at all.
And will continue to not make payments.
Exactly.
In the coming
Continue
months.
to not. So those are the people that would potentially be the ones, if any, to be getting foreclosed on, which for our purposes could be a good or a bad thing. I mean, opening up supply on the market, you're talking about a lot of cash opportunities popping up.
I think I've told you guys this before, but when banks foreclose on a house and they have that asset of just a sitting house there, they need real estate agents to sell those houses. Yeah. And my goal now, I'm working on this right now, is to like interview to be real. It's called REO agents.
So I don't know if you guys know this, but the way forbearance works is that I was trying to explain this is that the forbearance period is you offer your or you go to the loan person and they offer or you like I need a forbearance or you need a deferment on your loan. So they offer you they're allowed to offer you 180 days, 6 months of no payments or deferred payments, whatever they choose. And then you can go back to them and you can like request more days. So it's like it's up to a year. So you have people that just requested like another 6 months of forbearance.
Well,
like
COVID's been more than a year now, right?
Yeah, but the forbearance period ends this month, so it's gonna take a while before those forbearance. So it's gonna take a while before those forbearance like loans or the banks actually foreclose on them because they have a period. So you might see like a year before like a lot of foreclosures.
Yeah, it'll definitely take some time.
Not a year, maybe like 6 months, but that forbearance period is basically the banks can't offer anymore.
Aaron, do you know the last time before COVID there was a forbearance set up?
What do you mean?
Like a moratorium on foreclosures.
The last before COVID?
Before COVID.
I did not know.
Was it 2008?
I have no idea.
Was there one in 2008?
I don't know.
I know there have been forbearances on a state level, but this is the first national level forbearance. If I'm incorrect, I'm going to see if I can find.
On a state level, like what?
So like previously in the past, states can seek help, or like if they're an emergency, they can say like, hey, we're being impacted. All of our
like if there's like a flood
constituents
or something.
Something major like that really is just severely like pushing them back.
Yeah, okay.
But to my knowledge, I think this is the only national level forbearance, definitely to this like magnitude.
Oh yeah.
But it's definitely not the worst time we've ever seen people paying off mortgages, because we're talking about a 3% delinquency rate in this forbearance right now. It was like 6%, right? I think it was like
more than that.
It was 6 or 7%, and
Oh yeah.
2008, you saw a lot of foreclosure opportunities pop up. So like, screw the whole forbearance thing. I'm just looking straight at the number of how many people are delinquent on their loans. Those are the people that, possibly could be getting kicked out of their houses this year.
Yeah.
Whether or not that's, on the ethical side you agree with, but I think it's definitely something you can't discount. I don't know. What do you guys think about that as far as forbearance? Like, whatever the government wants to do, what do you guys think about forbearance? Like, we're looking at a job market right now that has so many openings.
I think it's been time. Like in the beginning, I would make sense, right? When there was a state of emergency, but I feel like at this time, especially in Florida, everything's opening up. I think we're ready to get things rolling, and like you just said, there's so many job openings.
There's so many.
The amount of COVID cases is decreasing every single day. Like people who want the vaccine have the vaccine. Less people are dying, so yeah, people need to get back to work.
You know what's funny is that the CDC eviction moratorium order, it ends June 30th. It's like the same as the forbearance things. It seems like everything's ending June 30th for some reason.
End of the summer, or that's not even the end of the summer. That's like halfway through the summer.
Yeah, except the multifamily forbearance. But anyways, it's it was like a lawsuit that a bunch of landlords brought up against I think it was the federal court, and the judge struck down more like extensions or something like that. So it's basically a lawsuit that's kind of everything's ending June 30th.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I think it's
landlords are
pretty
suffering
interesting. Yeah,
because of this.
Yeah, they can't. Oh, and they can't. That CDC eviction moratorium, you can't really kick out. You can't evict someone. I was actually looking this up. You can't evict someone that has a stimulus check, which is pretty much everyone.
So basically nobody can get evicted.
So here's the thing.
So on price. Now there may be other things that, if they're not paying, or if you want to evict someone just because of. Like they're not paying their rent, you can't do that. But
if they're like, say, using it, still like other things can apply. Like if they're using drugs in your house, like destroying your house, you are technically allowed to evict them in those.
Yes. So yeah,
Steve, are you making a connection between people receiving a stimulus check? You know, those are the people that use drugs. Is that what you're trying to say?
That wasn't what I was trying to say at all. I'm just saying that, like, say somebody wasn't paying rent. Because and you needed to evict them because of that. They're also using drugs. You could find other ways to evict people.
You could just plant some in their house and then evict them.
Yeah, that too. No. But yeah, a lot of landlords are trying to find loopholes to get these people that aren't paying out.
Yeah.
Can you blame them? I mean,
no, you can't.
That's probably why the lawsuit was brought up. It was like. They can't do anything. It's been almost like a year.
It's funny when we were when I was like talking to the new buyer, it was like them four and us four like coming up to the meeting and everything. That was like the first thing we talked about. It's like, why the hell are we not allowed to do evictions? And so the new buyer, kind of funny, they want to restructure leases to not be called leases, to be called rental agreements. So if it's technically not called a lease,
what's the difference?
So it's not a lease, right? So technically, literally, just saying like different words. Since you are in a rental agreement, in a month-to-month rental agreement instead of a binding lease, then you can be evicted
on a month's notice.
Yes. But there's a lot of sketchy stuff into that, and you could kind of get in trouble.
Well, I could definitely see how.
But like, yeah,
the landlord would want. Of course, he'd want the most decisions possible that he could make.
Yes, but at the same time, I think it also hurt because then like a tenant could leave at any time they want, and like right now with our leases, if a tenant wants to leave, they need to pay 2 months of rent to leave.
Okay.
To destroy the lease, to void the lease.
Like, is that before the lease ends? So if they want to
so you want to leave mid lease, you need to pay 2 months.
So like, what if they didn't pay the 2 months? What would you guys do? Like,
there's
tough question.
I'm not gonna go. I know the answer to it, but I'm not gonna go into it in the podcast.
Okay.
Would they like police
no, it's not what you think. It's not at all what you think.
You shoot them.
Yeah. No, it's not at all what you think, and I'll tell you guys
Okay.
later.
Okay. So
All right, that's gonna be in the VIP.
that's
podcast
gonna be
Yeah.
session,
that's gonna
so-
be in the
That's
$14.99.
it's in the paid subscription part of the podcast at greendreams.com.
green dream.
Only
Steven,
$5.99 a month.
Steven, I respect that. Does not want to reveal some of the inner
Follow our
workings of
Patreon.
his pyramid scheme. But anyways, Aaron, what were you gonna say?
I don't know what I was gonna say. What was I gonna say?
I don't know. We're talking about leases.
Carvana offered me $11,200 for my car.
Really? Is that how much do you want from it?
I would like to get $13,500 for it, which I think
That's pushing it. I
is,
feel like.
John,
I think 13 is
John,
realistic.
what did you learn from that Facebook offers that you've gotten, and the desk is still in your back pocket?
Why would you do that?
I learned that you do not keep
Don't be
desks out in
greedy.
the rain because that severely decreases the value of them.
You're
Oh,
keeping your
yeah.
escape out in the rain. It's losing value
The
every
Escape
single day.
right
John.
now is parked under the carport. We are good to go.
All right. Anyways, so you know what's also interesting?
What's up?
Have you heard Steven, I'm talking to you. So have you heard
Hi.
have you heard of something called the Black Knight mortgage reports?
I saw that on your paper when you gave it to me.
Yeah. So Black Knight, a Jacksonville company, actually does
I
these
know
huge
about
mortgage-
Black Knight, Black Knight Financial, right?
Yeah, Black Knight Financial, and they do these huge reports on like the housing markets and things.
Really?
And it's actually very interesting. And also the National Association of Realtors. I know you know.
I
that.
know NAR, baby.
Yeah. So that.
I'm in that. I'm a member.
Yeah. So technically, so overall, the housing market. So we're seeing, like, according to I think this was in April. Pending home sales have dropped 4.4%. Existing home sales have declined 2.7%.
So you know what's crazy?
And then inventory is also going up. It went up 10% over.
Inventory went up.
Inventory went up 10%
For houses?
in April for houses.
Wow.
What about in May?
That's good news for us,
I
gentlemen.
don't have May stuff. It's only in April, so it
I'm
just came out.
surprised.
It just came out like beginning of this month. So it
Went up
probably
10%.
Yes, it went up 10%. However, it
For
seems
what type
like
of houses? You know, like
it seems like inventory is still down year over year though.
yes,
So
definitely. Still
inventory
down.
is, and that's what is sustaining the high prices. But inventory did go up 10% over.
So
in
you know
April.
what's crazy? Supposedly, like right now for rentals, this is supposed to be like our hot market, and we like have like a lot of rentals. Like on a normal year, apparently we have like 30 to 45 rentals right now. We have less than 10 right now.
10 rentals?
Like that are listed to be rented out.
Oh, okay, so 10
So
inventory.
meaning like
Okay.
everybody is like not moving.
Wow. If
Like,
they get in a
we-
place, they're going to stay.
like we are getting a
because-
lot of calls from people that like need a place that like they have a HUD voucher for Section 8. There's no place. Like there's literally like the amount of like
How many HUD Section 8 or like houses do you rent out?
I'd say it's pretty low. Probably less than 10 to 30% of our
Okay.
listings are
Yeah.
are HUD Section 8.
HUD's just more regulated, obviously, because you're talking about
It's actually not
government
more regulated.
pays.
That part isn't even the bad part. It's kind of just like where Section 8 usually comes more problems.
with the tenants.
Yes.
Are they typically the drug using tenants? So you could just
Wait,
evict them.
Okay.
Isn't I thought Section 8 like it's a special program that
Yeah, it's for low income families that need housing.
yeah,
That need help with housing.
If you get a good Section 8 person,
Yes, exactly. If you get a good Section 8 person, it's awesome because
they
you
stay
know
there
that
for
money's
years.
coming in. You know that money's
Most
coming
likely.
in.
Yeah, so yeah,
It is good. And that point, it's awesome. But
can't the landlord like report like bad Section 8 people or tenants?
probably.
Okay.
But
I heard that somewhere.
Yeah,
To be honest,
I
it was
wouldn't be
probably
surprised
like
if you couldn't.
probably on a Bigger Pockets podcast somewhere. But yeah, they did like a
yeah,
whole
but
episode on
some
Section
it's literally up to the owner, right? So we do the tenant placement, right? Some owners are okay with Section 8, some aren't, and also your house has to qualify too.
8. There's a
That's where I think the regulation side of it comes in. It's
Yeah,
got to
like if your house
pass
is too nice,
inspections,
you know.
and I think that's government issued. Like an approved government inspector will come out,
Probably.
look at the house. Anyways, I see there's 5 million people across the country, estimated right now, live in a household that uses a voucher to help pay some or all of the rent.
Yeah, like if you have a rental property, I don't think it's too hard to get your place.
Is that coming out of?
verified.
You get a subsidy if you're a landlord, right? For that voucher.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's directly coming from the government. So it's like
So that's like
Yes.
you're a taxpayer. Right
so
there.
the only right.
Okay, it's
right.
taxpayer.
You're literally
right?
paying for it.
Well, it's just another
Hey,
form
I
of
mean,
welfare.
like-
Everybody else is paying for your.
To be
Right.
honest,
rent.
how much taxpayer money is it? It's probably not a lot. I don't think.
I mean, at the end of the day, however much it is, I'm honestly for Section 8
I think it's.
subsidizing because, like, if
I
you
think
think
it's
about
a
it,
good idea.
would you rather give somebody that's broke and is applying for government aid? Would you rather give them cash or would you give them a voucher to pay their mortgage? Because like they can't or pay their rent.
They
you
can't.
know,
Yeah, I
whatever.
agree.
They can't use it on anything else.
Right. It's kind of like you would rather give a homeless person food than give a homeless person cash because they're just going to use cash
For what, John?
to get them in the exact same position they're already in. They're not going to invest it. They're not going to better
They're not going
themselves
to put
with
in a
it.
Roth IRA.
And I'm not speaking on a like specific note. This is more generalized. I would say in general, and you can quote me on this, homeless people in general, I know there's some people that do it for a challenge,
Somebody clip
are
this.
not the best at managing their finances because
Well, most people
they're without
are,
a home.
right?
Yeah,
You know,
and they,
so-
to be honest, they were never taught how to manage their finances.
And if you think about it, the people that live in these HUD houses are really just one voucher away from being homeless.
Yeah,
So you're kind of looking at people who are, you know, using the voucher for its right purpose. And, you know, that's why I'm for vouchers if we have to give out government aid at all. But, you know, for all three of you listening to the podcast right now,
Don't cancel John.
I'm against
I'm against from any help from the government. Live on the street if you have to. Imagine what if like the government gave no help at all? Like, what is that an incentive? Like, if you
true
knew
capitalism.
that you knew that you were gonna be on the side of the
So-
road, if you
so-
didn't get your act together and make money, like, do you think that would push people more than here's a bunch of money? Here's
I
a
don't-
bunch of money.
it's
over
hard to say, to be honest. Yeah, if there was no subsidies,
Because like
or
maybe it would just be like
vouchers
California,
or-
right, where there is just tents everywhere. You know, like maybe that would happen. I guess.
Yeah, I don't-
Or downtown Jacksonville.
Yeah,
There's
downtown
like a lot of
Jacksonville.
tents down there.
I pass by them every day.
And I think that's free. Like, well, they're obviously not paying anything.
They're not paying rent for their tent.
They're
space?
What,
obviously
being on
not-
a
obviously not
sidewalk?
paying
No
anything.
way! I thought they were
Free?
paying
What?
$300 a month.
But
John.
there's like, I've seen as many as 100 tents down there in this little field.
Yeah.
They're just setting
Oh,
up
wow.
shop down there. Do you think
Yeah,
it's humane? I guess here's the point. Do you think it's humane to have these people pitch tents until they can afford another place to go? I mean, if you compare this to the rest of the world, that's pretty dang humane. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I
It's
see them on their
still
smartphone
safe.
in their tent.
I mean, they're
Looking at-
probably on their on their iPhone that they're not paying off.
what?
I mean, let me go back to the whole should the government even help you at all and how that would impact workers. I think there should be help in the form of Social Security only because
You know what's
that's
funny?
something that's been promised for so many years.
You know what's funny? I was like talking to one with my partner Rhiannon the other day about Social Security, and it's kind of interesting, right? Like the concept of Social Security. It's a genius. It's like so. It's terrible because that money doesn't gain interest for you. Isn't
Yeah.
it? And
So,
so it's
apparently-
like you're putting this money in to save for later, which you have no control over, which the government is using for other things, but it's like but you can't touch it.
So
It loses value with inflation.
apparently, so I actually got this from Money Explained on Netflix, which I don't recommend, but they say that with every dollar you put in, you get like 40 cents back. After
Yeah.
like
Oh my god.
after like time
No, and
value
then
of money.
I'm not
and
surprised,
things
but
that.
And that's
But-
assuming
Over
inflation
time.
doesn't
But see,
increase.
but so
Time
the
value of
sad
money,
thing is
basically.
that it's so important because people like don't know how to deal with their finances, like so much so that if we didn't have Social Security, when people would be 65, they would have no money whatsoever
Yeah.
coming in.
Right. I mean,
Isn't that crazy? Like it needs to be a thing because people will spend all of their money.
Yeah.
People are betting on Social Security.
Yeah.
Right?
I put all my money in like GameStop, and yeah, that's my
Yeah,
retirement.
Like I
No.
want my and it and here's a crazy thing to think about, right? As a real estate agent, none of my money is going to Social Security now. So
Wait,
it's
no,
like
I think you have to pay it.
you
now.
don't.
Steven doesn't pay taxes.
I apparently what I was told last week is that you don't have to pay Social Security.
Who told you that? Bernie Madoff?
Yeah. who
No,
told
like
you?
actually, like I was like, and here's the thing.
Don't you have? I thought you had to pay like 12% in.
So
Your share of-
so what I was told, and I don't this I might be wrong, and
Who told you?
that all I have to do is pay taxes. And again, yeah, he might be totally wrong. All I have to do is pay my taxes at the end of the year, and I do not have to pay Social Security or Medicare, and then I would not receive those when I turn 65.
Steven could be incriminating himself as we speak.
I haven't done it yet. I've been in, obviously, like
Well, now we
during
have
tax
the
season.
intent.
And like I don't plan to do anything illegal, but
Yeah.
it's
I
like if
don't know.
okay, me being somebody that wants to save and wants to be a millionaire when I'm old, right? Say I had the option to not put money into Social Security. I don't know if I would, right? Maybe I'd go for a Roth IRA, which has interest. Maybe I would like put it into investment properties, right? That I will save for when I retire to use those
So-
to live with. But I was told that I don't have to pay it, which again I
What are you, a 1099? Or a
Yeah.
10
This is what an
I
accountant
see-
would be good for.
I see nowhere on. I get half my information off Google, so. But
Will you see anywhere where it says you do have to pay it? This is why we
yeah,
need
I see
Jacob's
everywhere.
dad here.
I see everywhere. It's like how to avoid Social Security.
No, it's like I don't want to avoid it. I just don't know if I have to pay it or not. Like, do I? And I guess there are ways to.
It says this is from the Balance SMB.
Imagine this person is telling me this, and he hasn't been paying it, but he's gonna get like audited in like 2 years.
Steven's
So
about to be as well.
If you're self-employed, I think you have to pay it. That's what I have
again. I don't
been
know,
taught.
right? We don't have we're not CPAs, I guess.
So this is
Like
from the
that's what I thought
Well-
too. Here's the thing, Aaron. Before 5 days ago, I did too. So I was told this, but again, I don't know if it's true or not.
Okay.
I think whatever the case is, whether or not Steven's been committing tax fraud, I think
Anyways.
that entrusting the government in any scenario to be the vehicle to hold your retirement assets is never a good idea. Have you ever asked somebody that's been paying
I
in
agree
Social
100%, but I think it's needed. I think that's needed more than HUD vouchers, more than like
But
literally
To
is,
be
it,
honest,
is it really needed?
Yes, because
I-
it isn't needed if we were taught how to use our finances and like scare people into saving.
How about this?
But we're not taught that. So we literally need it because nobody knows how to save money.
But Steven, I think the key thing we're forgetting is I agree the idea behind Social Security, but it doesn't change the fact that the government has already spent all that money.
So, so that's a complete different topic, right?
Well, it's really not, because now we're talking about the government as a vehicle to hold our retirement assets.
Yeah, because
but they're also a vehicle that just randomly runs away.
So it's like, yeah, because like that's like the big scare that everyone's talking about is like there was more people alive, or what? How is it? More workers paying Social Security, or how is it? There's more seniors now than ever, or something like that.
Or
so,
the life expectancy of people. Have
so like when
longer.
we become a senior, there's not going to be enough money for everybody.
Oh, definitely not.
So, and that's why that 40 cents that you get back is going to go down to like 20 cents probably.
Exactly.
So
in the same way that the debt is skyrocketing. I mean, I'm reading right here, Forbes projects by 2029, the U.S. national debt would reach $89 trillion.
Well, it's like, I feel like that's so dumb. Who keeps saying, oh, the debt's $1 trillion. Like,
the debt's like $30 trillion right now.
I know, but it's like,
oh, really? It's not
like
high?
How does that?
Actually,
how does that affect
us? To be honest, I haven't looked at the debt in.
I just know it's
years.
always X amount of trillions.
After
but
high
like,
school, it kind of.
How does the debt affect us? Like, does that affect inflation? I'm assuming, right?
It won't affect us until the day when
China wants their money.
Somebody. Well, it's only like $2 trillion of that's China. $20 trillion of that's
consumers. Is like
Social Security. And that's where I think a lot of people are just uneducated.
20 trillion of that is Social Security.
Over 2/3 of the debt is owed to the citizens.
So the U.S. is taking money from us to do other
Stephen,
stuff
this whole pool you're talking about with putting money aside for Social Security has been continuously tapped into ever since it was created.
For what?
For just government projects. Think about it this way. So you know my lottery example with Florida has the Florida lottery. It brings in a ton of money, and they put that money towards education. Well, what really happens is they put that money towards education, and then the money they already had allocated,
they take it out.
They can spend to special projects. Yeah. Well, this is really the exact same thing that happens, but it's on a national level. So we have, let's just say, $1 trillion a year going into this pool of Social Security.
They take it out. It's not a pool. It's a puddle.
It's actually negative puddle now because there's no money. It's actually there's no money left. We're looking at $28 trillion in debt, with 2/3 of that being owed domestically. So that means to the citizens, to domestic companies. And at this point in time, any money that goes in, we have no reason to think that money will be held there. If anything, that money gets put into the puddle, and then an equivalent amount gets shuttled outwards.
I think what Steven is saying, I don't think he believes in the.
I don't think anybody does.
The money side of Social Security, but I think I agree with Steven in that people need a way where it gets like taken out automatically. And they don't have a say in it. And it's saved. But then, it's saved for later.
So
it's like, I don't know.
So
it's either that or just everyone needs financial
I
education.
think that everybody, 100%. First, everybody just needs financial education. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
But then, again, everybody should almost have their money taken out, like Social Security, but the government not be able to touch it. Like, it's just like a savings, like pretty much like a certificate of deposit or like a log savings account.
Let me ask you this
then,
the money. Because that's a good concept in theory. Why shouldn't we also, on the same policy, on the same legislation, we make it mandatory people set aside 10% of their take-home pay towards their retirement? Why don't we also make it mandatory? And by your logic, this would solve this other problem too. Why don't we just make them set aside 30% of their take-home pay to go to their mortgage? Why don't we make sure they set aside 10% of their pay to go to groceries? I don't think in this country anybody's in the position to mandate where a person's paycheck goes. And I think the day that becomes a policy,
it is a policy, right? It is a policy.
Well, it's not a policy that
it's basically the end of free will.
But like Social Security is like a thing right now.
Social Security is right, but that's completely destroyed. There's no money there. So you're talking about fixing Social Security by then enacting this policy.
I'm not saying a fix. Well, I know Social Security is already screwed, right? But it's like it's not. It's like there's definitely going like so. When you're 65, John, what do you think is gonna happen? That there's just gonna be no money there?
I'm gonna have tons of rental properties.
Because people
that's basically what it's
we're talking about financiers right now, but every other 20-year-old right now is just spending their money on beer. So like what is gonna happen to them when they're 60 years old and are about to retire in 2065?
In my ideal scenario, where they
No,
live
like
that
what's gonna
same-
happen? Like actually, like what do you predict is
Okay,
gonna happen?
realistically, in this ideal scenario, where they continue a lifestyle of not saving for retirement and then they approach retirement age, I think they should starve.
No. Like I'm not saying that. I'm saying what do you predict will actually happen in 2065? Like for real? Because you're saying the Social Security is like gonna end. Like, is there gonna be like actually no Social Security and everybody's gonna be like screwed?
To be honest,
Or like is it just gonna be less and
I-
everybody's gonna get like, or is it
I
gonna
have-
be like a state
I
of
have-
emergency where we go into more debt and we like
have
we
an
use a
answer,
lottery for Social Security or something? We're gonna have to
Right.
do that. Like what will? Because like right now, obviously seniors are getting Social Security check right now, right? Whatever, how many $100 it is a month. So like, is it like has it been decreasing every single month? Are there statistics that like say like since say 2000 that people are getting less money?
What, from Social Security
Yeah.
per month? No, the payments don't go down.
No, I'm saying like, is it being affected like right now?
so
like-
I mean, like
No, I don't think so.
all the money is being affected by the time value of money, which is an
Well,
accounting
yeah.
principle. Which basically it's inflation. It's like your
Yeah,
your
but
money's-
I'm not talking about inflation. I'm talking about this huge, like, thing that everybody says that when we are seniors, there's
Right,
gonna be
I
no
get what
money.
you're
I
saying.
think-
When the Social Security runs out,
Yeah,
that whole cloud.
which is like runs out. Like,
Um,
what is
So to answer your question, it's definitely like I don't think anybody could predict it from this far away. I think it would go one of two ways. Let's assume we have very, conservative forces in government at the time. I could easily see, or enough conservative force along the way to enact policy to make people or to make the government pay back that money. I think Social Security would be gone. There'd be no Social Security. But I could very easily see, between now and the next 40 years, you have liberal leaning economic policies. I could 100% see the United States with $275 trillion in debt, same exact Social Security payments, and even us at that age saying, "Oh, you kids shouldn't be counting on your Social Security payment."
Do you know when Social Security was? It was.
Let me get a date for you guys.
Was it like, was it Eisenhower?
Let's see.
All right, Steven doesn't know.
hey,
Okay, wow.
1963.
Take a
No,
guess. Take a guess.
1920. No, okay, I know. I think I know. I think after the Great Depression.
wait.
1941.
What do you think, Aaron? You think it was that early?
Was it Taft? I don't know. How?
The Social Security Act was signed into law by President Roosevelt on August
that's who it
14th,
was. I knew it was someone
1935.
famous,
So,
but,
Steven, you're pretty close.
Yeah, because I knew after the Great Depression, everybody was dying. That makes a lot of sense. It was after that.
So
But
And the Social Security number became mandatory in 1936. That's
Oh.
another good tidbit
who
of
was the
history.
first Social Security? It was like the first 1936.
it's probably 0001.
That's kind of crazy. Like they're possibly still alive. The person with
That's crazy. Yeah, I wonder who has
who has the earliest Social Security number alive.
Who has
So-
here
so-
you go. Who has Social Security number 1? John D. Sweeney Jr. This particular record belonged to John D. Sweeney, age 23, of New York. The next day, newspapers around the country announced that Sweeney had been issued the first Social Security number. Wow. So theoretically, he could
did you know
be.
it wasn't private? Your Social Security number wasn't private back then.
No
I guess
way.
They couldn't hack.
No, it wasn't.
They couldn't hack into it.
Because
right?
yeah, it was all like
it's all on
I mean,
paper.
like,
So it's like
my mom had her Social Security number on her test for college.
Wow.
So it wasn't even. It was like their ID number. It was like their. It wasn't that until I have a feeling until computers came around.
I guess
we're gonna
yeah.
need some old people to call into the show and
So like
Give
were
us some
people in the
testimony.
19 so somebody that was born in 1930 did they not have a Social Security number in the US?
1930s. Oh,
Say
they be dead.
say somebody's 90. Well, they're 90 right now, right?
well, Sweeney was 23 when he got his, so
Oh, okay.
you could get it. I guess they
18.
got it when they were,
yeah.
I guess did everybody just start getting it?
But yeah, I mean with the whole social
Whatever.
Security
Okay,
thing-
I have one last question for Social Security. okay, Johnny, you're the president of the United States. Well, how would you do it?
How would you how would you fix it?
How would you help people save money for retirement and somehow fix or not fix or just
I would
do
give
away
you
with
even
the Social
I'd give
Security?
you an even bigger picture. Okay, so
Go
let's
for
talk
it.
about the debt.
Yeah.
I would fix all the debt owed to China, and I would sue them for copyright infringement. I would sue them for.
You're gonna sue them like Trump for 10
well,
trillion?
and really, I
How-
would just
for COVID?
suing them
How
would
would
say.
you like suing them copyright? Isn't copyright a U.S. law?
I believe so, because I know that
How
there's
would,
no
how would
ethics
you
in
enforce
China.
that? How would
Yeah,
you enforce
John,
that?
How would you enforce that?
Well, it would be as simple as us saying we're not going to pay the $2 trillion anymore.
Don't we already do that?
Well, right now it's still on the books. It's still we owe
Yeah,
them. We
but
still hold
no,
an
we're not
IOU.
You just want to be
I
like,
would say. I
oh,
think there's plenty of
debit-
evidence to show that there's plenty of things we could sue China over.
as an accounting, you could just you could just debit a lawsuit or credit the debt. No,
but that's just
I
a
don't
small
know,
part.
but-
Like right.
But
the
okay,
rest of it's
Social
owed to
Security.
Social
What would you do with Social Security?
I'd probably scrap it. I don't think there's a reason to have
Scrap
Social
it if
Security.
you're a president?
No,
I
I
think-
mean, if people
So do
have
you actually
freedom to
Okay, so I
choose-
think people are understanding the value of money more because of this COVID situation. So I think people like probably a lot of people are.
I
realizing
agree, but
that.
I'd say at this point of me being pretty on the right, I'd say Social Security is one of my only liberalish
things you agree with.
things I agree with, just because like
yeah,
just because I know like I feel like if it was a main topic to always talk about, hey, how much do you have in say it's called Social Security, but it's like a bank account that you just can't touch and that you put money in every paycheck, right?
Like
Yeah.
like the bank is like in charge of it, so it's like
Yeah, like
not
the
like-
private bank.
Okay.
Well, but like you're
Well,
in
then you
charge of
have-
it. You're in charge of it. Like you put in however much money you want,
it's
People
it's
are, like,
insured,
aware of
like
it.
FDIC insured,
Yeah.
that type stuff.
and it's
That'd be a
like
hell
and
of
then
an
it's
insurance
always
policy,
a big
though.
conversation, and like
If people save up like
most
$1
people
million,
and like are aware of this, and hey, how much do you have in your Social Security? How much do you have in your account? How much do you have in your account? And it's like, but like no, like it isn't like that, right? Like
yeah.
I think
would still
people-
take Social Security away as president.
and
I know that. But the reason that
it'll
would
be
never
terrible.
happen, right? The reason that would never happen was like if you're president,
There's
you're,
not that much you can.
you're doing things like that's probably already out of your power. And even if you did get everybody on board with it, you wouldn't get everybody on board with it because who's gonna enact that? Nobody's gonna vote. So many people would be
Yeah.
angry.
I have to say I think it's really smart because
do you think there should be a phase out? So people that have already paid into it, keep what they paid into it when they turn 65, but like they should like phase it out. So like new people shouldn't pay into it.
you know what's an interesting question
What would you
is
think about that?
say like tomorrow, right? The government said you can choose to put money in Social Security or you can choose not to. How many people do you think would keep doing it?
I would think it'd probably be 50-50.
I wouldn't.
I
think
think
so few people would put money in.
think yes.
Like you're gonna
but
have the people that have been putting
there
it
would
in for
also
20
be
years
people,
straight, and they're
like
already
100%
accustomed to
that
it.
would keep it.
But
But
I
I
just
think there's
really
also
don't
people that would be
know, like-
scared, right? That they would want.
I
to
think the
do it.
people that need money now, they'd be like, "Oh, this $80 a paycheck that's going to, or whatever, this $40 a paycheck that's going to Social Security, I could use that for groceries. Yeah, let me go
Yeah.
ahead and just take that out." But Steven, let me ask you this. So I see your reasoning with Social Security. It's a great idea in the way you're putting it, but you got to.
I don't think it's a great idea. I think it's a sadly necessary
It's a
idea.
necessity.
Okay. Well, let me.
is what you're saying.
So let me
Okay.
get your yes or no on this. You think that the government is able to better manage the people's assets long term in a retirement context than the person themselves?
I think that both
Remember, people-
are
peop-
I think
Not
both
all
the average
people-
person and the government are terrible with money.
Okay, well, fair enough. So let me
True.
ask you this. Should the government also take 20 or 30% out of people's paychecks and put that towards their mortgages?
You know,
Because it would
and that would low key make a that would it almost sounds good, but right, but no, I think right. So I think
But
Social Security is
But why
like the
shouldn't they?
extent of that, right? Like, because then it's like there should be a balance, right? So like the government is say helping them with saving money for their retirement, but then at the same time maybe a little balance. Okay, you're in charge of the rest of your money, right? And if you want to rent the rest of your life, go for it. If you want to buy a house, go for it. And then like
But they could still force them to put money aside, and then that person could draw money towards rent, towards mortgage.
It's kind of funny.
Hotel,
my real estate teacher, the one who like taught us for the license, she said that like her parents like you almost had to do that in the old days to buy a house, because there wasn't there wasn't FHA loans, right, where you could just put 3.5% down. Like you had to
Wasn't
put
it,
20% down.
Yeah.
So
20%
everybody that
like
wanted a house and wanted to start a
interest
family
rate.
literally did that. They took 20% of their paycheck every single 2 weeks and put it in the bank because they had to get a house. To start a family.
I think that's just
It's probably because
logical. Like,
yeah,
you know, anyways, so you do or don't think that the mortgage, the government should
I don't think
I mean, then I don't see your reasoning with Social Security then, because if people should be able to
because
have
like what if you want to rent for the rest of your life?
Well, they could still take the money. Well, my point is with the whole like government taking 20 or 30% of your paycheck, they're just going to put it into a pool. And then if you want to rent or have a mortgage, you can just draw it from that pool.
No, because I think so. You mean having Social Security and doing that too?
And doing that too.
No, because there has to be a balance, right? And I think that Social Security should stop. That's what I believe.
It's basically a 401k, and because you can take a loan out from your 401k to pay off your house.
Sure, but we're talking in the context of government involvement, where the government is able to.
You know what's funny?
A 401k is a government involvement. I'm pretty sure.
Isn't it?
Is it? No, but like it's not really, because I don't think it is. I think it's like in Roth IRA.
But the 401k, you're never required.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I think
Yeah.
the 401k is kind of great, right? Because it's like it kind of is like the it's like what the perfect solution is, right? Because people are putting in money for their retirement.
There was actually
it'd almost be perfect, right, if we just had 401k and not Social Security at all, right?
Okay, John, what do you think about the 401k?
401k in general.
So I have a question for you. You're putting in money in your 401k right now, right?
Right.
Why aren't you putting it in instead of a Roth IRA? And so do you think a Roth IRA or a 401k is better? Which one do you think is better?
I think, Aaron, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the Roth IRA is bigger than the 401k. A 401k
is bigger? What do you mean bigger?
A 401k is like a small paper that fits in the binder that is the Roth IRA. So the Roth IRA is the whole vehicle. The 401k is just one of the.
I don't think so.
401k,
No?
I think was like from section 401 or something from.
A 401k.
Okay.
Yo,
let me see what I can find. But,
Aaron, can you choose what exact stock? No, you can't.
Not enough.
No, you can't. You can't.
401ks have to be mutual funds, things like that. And plus, they're not managed by you.
Yes. So that's the only difference. Yeah, the 401k, they're managed by. They're not managed by the government. They're managed by your employer. Exactly. And it's like your employer will have options for you to choose.
They have the match. They have a match if they match anything up to a certain amount.
Yeah.
It's usually like 2%. It's not.
But then,
much,
so here's what I've learned from every single YouTuber, right? I've kind of what I've heard a lot is if you're young, that a Roth IRA is better because your money will appreciate.
I believe that
a lot more.
Okay, so I got some clarity on it. 401k, you are paying tax,
and also
afterwards. Roth IRA, you pay tax before.
Yeah, I could have told you that.
Well, I guess I'm trying to figure out like 401k.
Where look up where did 401k get its name?
Aaron,
I'll tell you where.
Aaron,
what
this is what I was confused in.
It came from.
In a Roth IRA, it's taxed
section
before,
number.
right? What does that mean? It's taxed. It's pre-taxed.
So if you put in money, you know, there's a
Like say I put from my bank account I put $100 into my 401k.
tax.
So
in your
is it taxed
401k.
right then and there? Some like my
So,
tax bracket
okay.
or something.
So if you put money into your 401k,
If I put
it's
$100 in today-
pre-taxed. It's pre-tax.
What do you mean pre-tax?
So it means you're deferring the tax payment until you take it out.
No.
401k.
Oh, 401k, yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'm talking about Roth IRA.
So Roth IRA, you the amount of money you put in, you pay your income tax of what you made that year. So let's say you put in $5,000.
Yeah.
And you made $50,000.
Yeah.
You're paying about like I think like 13%. Maybe.
So when
50.
when is that 13%? When is that 13% taken out of the $5,000?
That's a good question. I don't actually know that.
Is this
I would
what-
assume it would be taken out. So John, have you put money into a Roth?
A Roth?
Yeah.
A Roth takes out before.
I
So
know.
does that-
So like, what
does
does
it-
that mean? So if
So
I
it
like,
takes it out.
if I put my bank account connected with Fidelity's Roth IRA and I clicked and I click, okay, submit 5,000 to my Roth IRA.
Do they have like a?
Does it just take it out?
Do they
right
have like
there?
a W2 or like a?
Does it
a
just
piece
tax
of paper?
it?
Let me
Boom.
open up my Fidelity. Hold on.
No, I think you can put in the money, but then you have to pay extra
Taxes and during
out
tax
of your,
season?
out of your pocket, maybe. Like
Because
made an
I
income.
always hear it's pre-tax, it's pre-tax, it's pre-tax. But
Yeah.
what does that mean?
So
what does
it's
that
taxed on your what you made that year.
All those taxes go to Social Security.
So
no, but it's like what?
I'm assuming.
How is it pre-tax? Where do I pay these
Okay,
taxes?
so I
to?
think. No, I might be wrong, but I think so. When you pay your,
I bet Jacob's dad knows.
most probably right. I think when you pay your taxes for the year, you know that whole form that you fill out right on the IRS. There's probably a section somewhere that says any contributions to a Roth IRA. You put that number. You put the, from your Roth IRA financial service. So that might be Fidelity. They might give you like a form to go with
submit,
it. Yeah.
and then you pay your
telling you
taxes
how
on
much you
that
need to
might
pay.
makes more sense.
And then
If like Fidelity gave you a paper at the end of the year, you put in $10,000, you give that to.
well, technically you
you-
can't put in 10,000 because the max.
I know it's
contribution's
6,000.
Like
I know 5,500.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's how it gets taken out. It gets taken.
I think it's a
Your
form
tax-
5498.
So
it's
like,
yeah,
so
so it's a
John, so
form,
you
it's-
started.
yeah.
How much have you put in your Roth? Like a few $100 or whatever, something like that.
the Roth right now I've got a little under 2,000.
And that was this year, right?
No, that's all time. That's just what's currently sitting in it right now.
No, okay. Well, like when did you open it? You opened it this year.
I opened this back in.
I guess the question is, have you paid taxes on that? I feel like what we're
So-
saying.
To be honest, I have no income right now, so I should be putting money in the Roth, but I don't because I'm stupid. But I should really make a Roth and put money
So
in it.
like
but-
what I'm thinking is stop putting money in Acorns and doing the Roth.
oh, but I think you need income though to
you
make
don't.
a Roth.
I know you don't. I don't
Are you-
think-
are you sure?
You don't. You don't need income. You can actually start a Roth before you're 18.
I think I
I've
started
heard.
it before 18. I think I started
You
it
don't need
before I had a
income.
job.
Okay. Somewhere I read that.
I don't
you
think
need
so.
income.
No, I don't think so.
This is where we'll
No.
get my
'Cause I think you can do
financial
one for your
advisor on
kids.
the episode too.
Okay, now I want to switch topics. Right? I want to switch topics to LLCs.
LLCs. What is an LLC,
LLC.
Steven?
Limited liability company.
What is liability?
Liability.
You know,
That's-
if you're sued
what?
out of your mind, you don't get it's basically a liability. So a
So,
lawsuit.
like, it's
So
an
you
umbrella.
don't get sued. So they don't take
Your company
couch
gets
away.
sued, basically.
So they don't
But
take
you
your
only
car
take a
away.
limited amount of that pain, basically.
That is a good question. But so yeah, so a LLC doesn't cover you completely. You can still get
Like up to $100,000, right? Well, it depends, but like let's
it.
say
It
bigger.
depends.
Oh.
Apparently, and I heard this somewhere, like very recently, that like in the courts, like if you're really at fault for something, they can go still for your assets, for your own assets.
What? We need Dalton back in here.
It's like depending on I guess how
Well,
good your lawyer
couldn't they
is.
just sue
That'd be
you on like so
that'd
many
be
different
interesting.
counts? Like,
So
Yeah.
hit you for 100,000 on each. I mean,
maybe the LLC doesn't have that much money. So let's say it's like a small
It doesn't have that much
LLC,
power. Yeah, exactly. Like say
or it's like
you're like an
you know,
investor and
it's
you
like
really
a small
screwed somebody
mowing
over.
company, but instead you burn down your client's house. I mean, like
Okay, so let me just to tell you the reason why I want the LLC, right?
How much
And
money
I
does it-
was talking about this with the same guy that told me the Social Security stuff. But
so this is either
Okay.
all correct or all.
so he had this idea, which I had kind of had partially already, is to start an LLC, right? And then for any cleanings or say lawn care or small repairs that needed to be done in my property management accounts, right? I or somebody that I employ or like a friend, right, could do those under my LLC, and like the owner can like file that, so they, because like you're not supposed to / legally allowed to just hire the bum across the street to do your lawn, or because it
Right.
should always be
Yeah.
taxed, right? So if I get an LLC, right, and I say I do the lawn care for a house, then I could file that, and like so because I have a business, right? So I could do the lawn care for the owner, file it through the property management company, and like they can
to be honest, I see no issue with that because
work it out, right? Like that makes total sense,
Well,
right? That's
Steven,
how
what
every
do you get
business.
out of this?
What?
What do you get out of this?
Me being able to
he can mow the lawn.
mow the lawns and clean
If he makes it-
and do the move-in
So if
cleanings.
he registers as like a handyman LLC, right? That's a whole company, right?
Yes, like
And then
literally
you can-
exactly like
Yeah,
a services LLC. So I can so we have to pay a cleaning crew, a cleaning company like an LLC to clean our houses before move-ins or when people leave, right?
Yeah.
So like, why am I paying somebody else to do it when I can get an LLC and do it myself?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And have somebody.
You're the
work in
property
that.
manager. You're the property.
I am the
manager.
property man. Like, say for my 16 unit right now, I am
see.
looking for somebody to clean my.
Yeah, I see no
houses.
problem with that.
And I was gonna do it
So basically,
myself.
you've already got the demand.
Yes, that's the thing. I already
That's the
have
whole
the
thing.
demand.
You
So
have
like,
the demand
I
already.
literally told the owner of my place, "Can I do the cleaning and you pay me?" And he said, "Do you have an LLC?" And I didn't, obviously.
Wow, this is interesting.
So
It's kind of like the
basically-
same idea that, let's say I have an LLC for rental properties. I can hire my other LLC for mowing,
Exactly.
and that would work. And
Exactly. So the goal is, I already have the demand, and say other people at the company, if they need a cleaner or a lawn care,
They'd go to you
guy,
too.
they can go to me too because I have the LLC.
Wow. So,
So
why are you
I
and
can-
Aaron not talking? Because do any of your
I
yards
can
need to
make
be mowed?
so I can make money off the property management plus
do you have
Plus, like-
do you have a lawnmower?
other things. So
Anyways.
it's so here's it. Okay, so let me do it this way. So first of all, you don't have an LLC, Aaron. You have a general partnership.
I have a general partnership.
And I know you've told us this before, but why didn't you get the LLC instead?
Because I think at the time the LLC you needed like a operating agreement. You need a lot of stuff. Now, granted, now I'm looking at it.
What do I need? Because I was trying to watch a YouTube video, but it was kind of stupid. What do you need? And like this is why we need Jacob's dad in here. What do you need to start an LLC?
He'll definitely tell you all of this stuff, but he definitely knows more than me. But the reason why I didn't start an LLC is because it was just more money.
Like, how much does it cost to start an LLC? Would you say? Do you think it is, or do you kind of have a rough estimate?
Jacob's dad said like $68. I thought it was like
$68.
Yeah.
It's more than that.
I thought it was like $150. But
It's more than that. I think it's around $150, a few $100.
I thought I heard 150, but
so here's the thing. Do I have now? Say I do the cleaning, I do the lawn company stuff. Do I have to be insured? Aaron, are you insured?
I am insured.
How much did it cost to be insured?
Like probably like it's costing me $40 a month to be
40
insured.
bucks a
So you have
month.
to pay $40 a month.
Yes.
Just so you can prevent the house burning down when Nathan forgets to screw the gas cap on the mower back on.
Just so
Pretty
you
much,
can prevent.
And then you go and edge the yard and
That's
spark
crazy.
something, and then
See,
Yeah.
so like, so that's the thing. I have to account for my $40 to $50 a month in my LLC
Right.
costs, in my cleaning. And
well, that would be
whatever.
negligible. I
But
mean,
then,
that's
so okay, so
nothing.
here's another thing, right? What do I have to do to have an employee as an LLC?
Find someone who's willing to work in these trying times.
Okay, say you wanted to work for my LLC.
Right.
What paperwork do I have to do? Like,
I
do I have
would-
to provide you Social Security if I take one person, right? Isn't there
I
like
don't know.
government?
Yeah,
Like-
it would be all in your. There's a special forms for LLCs and when you pay taxes, and there's again a form for employees if you have employees. And when you file all
How
of this
hard is it
stuff-
to like me having an LLC and get John as one of my employees to do lawn care for me? Do you have any idea? Like, is it a hard?
I mean, like one
'Cause-
employee, it's just all tax stuff, and like there's contracts.
Do I-
you gotta contract him. You know, if he's paying, $15 an hour, it's just a contract. I would assume, but then you have to claim it on your taxes and things like
what
that. if you have an employee.
what the real estate guy was saying is just pay the employee cash, but tax it on, but still tax it on my part.
But still tax it on your part, so you get to like expenses basically.
So,
but
yeah.
no-
So like it's
Your
like getting
business
accounted for
expense
in the
type
government
thing.
side, but like they
It's
don't
wages.
use it.
It's a wages expense type stuff.
Steven, this guy, you should bring him on the podcast.
he's pretty cool, man. He would actually be kind of cool because he's opening a bar.
He's opening a bar.
Yeah,
Really?
Is his
already,
name Dennis?
He already bought the place. He,
Now, remember, Dennis
doing a lot
already
of legal
owns the
stuff.
bar.
Dennis does, yeah.
Yeah, this is a new guy. Right?
So, did this guy? Is he speaking from the experience of having opened a supporting LLC to his?
No,
So he's,
so he's
just
never.
he thought about doing it like
because it
last
sounds
year
like
they
out
did.
of all this, Steven, really what you have is connections. You have demand.
Exactly. I have
So,
the demand. Right now, I need
really-
a fucking cleaning company, and I can't find one because everybody's charging too much or they're too busy.
Wow. What is it? Break it down. What is a cleaning company like?
What
What do they do, and how
make?
much do you pay? Because me and Aaron might both be starting a cleaning company
Maybe.
tonight.
Possibly.
Dude, I'm gonna start it tonight.
I already
I'm
started
gonna
one.
do
Maybe.
LLC right
Maybe.
now.
Steven,
Like,
I have the
literally-
operating
okay, so
agreements in my
here's
my
the thing,
car
Aaron.
right now. So.
Like with you being a general, what's it fucking called?
a general
General
liability
partnership, right?
partnership.
You're insured. Can I just hire you to clean the places? I think you can. And I was actually going to ask you this during the podcast. And I think if you have the right invoices, I think you can do it for me.
Really?
Yes.
Hey, I'll be down to do it.
And I'm literally paying you like $100 for like an hour and a half of work.
What does he have to do?
Nah, John, get out of this. This is
What?
you.
No, I'm just wondering what
Literally-
is a cleaning job entail,
Sweep?
Steven?
Sweep?
Sweeping.
It includes sweeping, mopping, and cleaning the inside of.
I can
fridge and
quickly
stove.
I can quickly create an invoice.
Like
I
as
do
long as
cleaning.
you're like
I'm
you're
I
insured,
clean
right?
up.
You're literally
Yeah,
you
I'm
literally
insured.
said you're insured. You have the general contract. You have the invoice. I think we can do it.
I'm listed under
Wow,
biz. What is the Florida business website?
Sunbiz.
Yeah, Sunbiz.
And then it's kind of funny, right? There's like one of our units used to be a crack house, and it's like crack house looking, and
I've seen that.
and we're gonna pay probably $500 to $800 to clean that place. And again, it would probably take 2 to 3 hours. It's just really gross.
Wow.
Okay,
Oh,
I would
Aaron,
go
are
in
you
there. I
hiring?
would go in there with a full hazmat suit and clean the shit
Dude,
out of that.
all you need is some
I'd be-
gloves.
I'd be
all
fine.
you need is some gloves. But again, I'm not insured and I don't have a LLC, so I can't do it.
Is
Wow.
there? Okay. Yeah, ask the person.
You know,
ask-
it's funny.
and hire.
What,
We
Uh,
need to title this episode "What Connections Get You."
What the owner was gonna do is tell one of the tenants was really late on rent, right?
Yeah.
So he can't pay him because he doesn't have an LLC.
but he said if he cleaned the place up, he'd cover 2 months.
He'll forget the rent. that he
Oh
owes.
wow! Okay. Wow.
Usually, you don't want to do that, but
He's not getting the rent back, so he might as well do this job for him.
Wow. This is
All right.
interesting. How
But
many
yeah,
how many
right
houses
now-
are you talking? Like how much volume are we talking about?
What?
cleaning jobs that you need someone to clean the
Well,
stuff?
I have 16 units, right? So anytime somebody leaves, I have 5 vacant units, one that's about to be vacant. So I have 6 units that need to be cleaned the next month or so.
And that $100.
And I have another one that's 1,100 square feet that is on construction right now that I'm going to be the property manager for, that I need also cleaned in the next week or two.
Right. So that $100 you just paid Aaron because he just cleaned one of the
you,
units.
You know what's crazy? I was calling a few companies. They're charging almost $200.
Wow.
Isn't that insane?
Who are you calling?
Like literally Googling stuff.
Just Googling up.
There's the lady that a lot of the people use in our office. Apparently she charges $25 an hour, but she's just jam packed. And I tried to call her. She barely answers.
She's got so much business for only charging that much.
So
wait. So break this down for me. So
and okay,
you just paid Aaron $100 and he just cleaned one of your apartment units.
yes.
Now that $100 bill, the property management company holds and gives to the owner to pay.
No.
Who pays that?
fact.
Who pays that?
So this is how it works, right? Aaron gives me the invoice, right?
Right.
I give it to the accounting staff.
Yeah.
When the rents come in for the month, the property they take 10% for property management, and off the other rental income, the 90%, they take out all the invoices for that
Expenses, cleanings,
Exactly.
mowings.
They take that from the monthly
And
income, and then they pay the rest to the owner.
Wow. So what's your incentive to even keep the cost you're paying to Aaron low? You just want to obviously not piss off the owner, right? Like, let's say you paid him $300.
That's exactly what it is. So I'm looking like a good property manager because I'm showing the owner I can find cheap, good work.
And that's the whole reason he's even going to you in the first place.
Yes.
You're doing the job efficiently, cheaply, and you're taking the hassle out of his hands.
Yes.
Oh, I see. So if you were to hook up your friend Aaron with a $350 1 hour cleaning, he'd probably get pissed.
Yeah, right. So, but I can do both, right? Because for Aaron, $100 is really good, and for the owner, $100 is really good.
Right.
So,
Right.
I think the IRS.
I'll do 75.
Gets. I think you would like. Let's say because my mowing company is McAdams Lawn Company. That's the name of it.
Exactly, and I was thinking about this problem too.
The lawn company. It's a lawn landscape company basically. And
can you
I
still
think
do cleaning?
I don't think I can. Like,
Why couldn't you do
if
I feel
was
like why not? Like you have.
I mean, it has to be a name that.
Does it really have to be the name? Like, does it? Like, is that?
I think it
like
does.
if you can't touch anything else but a lawn.
So it like just let's say
that's why I'm
the
making my
IRS
name something very
the
general.
IRS comes in around and says, "Oh, what is this from? You're cleaning, but your landscape."
Is it really
it's
illegal
awesome.
to do that?
I'm just gonna.
I don't think it's illegal. I think there would if you ever get audited, there would be questions about it.
Where would the like law
might
breaking
be-
part come from? Would it be on the insurance side? Like, where would the actual?
Insurance would be a whole nother deal.
Because like you're getting insured $40 a month.
So
and your
for
insurance
to be a
company-
lawn, who's in your insured? Does like a
It's just
Who
general
does this?
liability.
Like,
on
who-
like so.
General liability
if I break
insurance?
windows, property
but so
damage.
does the insurance company know that you're doing lawn care, or
yes.
do they just know that you're
and
a
you,
business?
you like told them over
No,
the phone or something that
Yeah, they know that I'm in lawn care. They have my name. They have my IEN number. Basically, that's my social security number type thing.
okay.
Yeah,
so-
an IEN is what you get with an L. Oh, so you have an IEN,
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I would say
Okay.
lawn mowing is
Yes.
much more dangerous than house
100%.
cleaning. So really, as long as it flies with insurance, Uncle Sam has no place to say.
Yeah, I agree.
Aaron can't do that. Aaron could name it
To be honest,
McAdams
And
House.
so
Touch-ups.
here's an
we
interesting
kind of
thing,
clean
right?
up properties anyways. So
What's
So,
the
like-
difference? Whether
so
it's
what-
inside, outside, porch, front patio. I mean,
good
it's all
question.
kind
I
of.
don't know.
So
You
do
know?
I need a separate? Oh, first of all, can I have more than one LLC? And two, like, do I need to like say I
No,
want
yes,
to?
you can have a lot
Yeah?
of. You can have more than one.
Okay, so
Sounds
it's like
bad.
so if I want to have a, I guess so, yeah, right. If I want to have a lawn mowing LLC and a cleaning LLC
Yes.
and a investment property LLC, I can have all those.
Yes.
Do they?
Good luck managing them though.
What?
That's a whole nother story.
Oh,
Managing them.
yeah, like QuickBooks, right?
There'll be more than
Excel
that.
sheet, but like, Yeah, like it's
I think you
this is pretty cool. This is the entrepreneur side that's awesome, right?
Yeah.
So like one of the companies I was talking to, they were called Prime, I think First Coast Cleaners. And I think all he has is an LLC, and it's him and his wife, and they have 14 employees.
What
And
the?
and they're charging 187 for the minimum cleaning fee.
Whoa.
Isn't that crazy? And they
Wow.
deal with other property
Do you know how many
managers,
people
just
they
like
send
me.
to each job and like how long it
Apparently
takes?
it's
Probably
one
one.
to two.
1 to 2, and they get out within 1 to 2
man.
hours.
Yeah.
They're just doing work that nobody else wants to do.
Yeah.
And that need is pretty big right now because there's not enough
Okay.
people that want to do that.
Next summer, new business, cleaning.
Dude,
right.
no,
Aaron-
no,
hey,
and no,
Steven,
and, like,
this summer-
actually,
I'll be doing it.
actually cleaning is a like it's a huge like thing. Like commercial cleaning, like
But to be honest,
literally
how,
doctor's offices, dentist's office, they all need that. And like it's a huge market. And you can make a lot of money. Like
Okay.
like bi-weekly maid cleanings.
how dirty do you want to get though? I mean, like
I'll get dirty, man. Deep down dirty.
$147 if it takes you 3
Yeah,
hours.
exactly, right? Like it
And-
depends how bad the place is.
Yeah.
If it's a really messed up
I
place.
think as long as I could string together and be profitable enough for me to do this, if I could afford to pay somebody to clean for $20 an hour, I feel like they do it. I feel like
100%, bro.
I feel like they could keep. I feel like I could keep them on for like a whole season.
Yeah.
You know, like lawn mowing. The biggest thing is like, there's just the most profitable lawn mowing companies are like the one man shows,
Yeah.
and then there are the rare ones that are larger, but
as in percentage wise.
percentage
Air,
wise, yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you this
But-
from like I know this as a fact. A lot of people are getting paid minimum wage to clean like
And
malls.
those would be the crews where like one day he shows up to work, the next day he doesn't. I need a dependable crew of 14
right?
people
No, 100%.
that I can pay each $20 an hour to, and me still make money. Because like I don't want
To
to
be
do
fair-
this for just the
to be
summer,
fair-
you know.
No,
be
yeah,
fair,
you
if
can.
you
You
wanna-
don't have to do this for the summer. Like
I
obviously,
wanna-
like
I wanna do this
any
year-round.
business, right? Any doctor's office needs this year round, right?
Yeah.
And like think about it. There's 40 other agents that have property management like accounts, right? So like
Just
any
the
of
traditions.
just in traditions.
Wow.
So like we do every week there's an email blast on, hey, who has a good roofer, who has a good contractor, who has a good plumber, who has a good cleaning person.
And I even see messages for my parents' neighborhood group. Who knows a plumber?
Exactly.
It's just I think it's a shortage, man. I think this is just a shortage of.
It's a time. It's a time to make a business, boys.
It goes back to
I would-
the labor shortage, man. I think it goes back to that because
Yeah. Actually.
you know you're looking at $20 an hour. I'm just gonna let's say 15 an hour would keep somebody willing to do the cleaning job.
100%.
Well, they get $15 an hour right now for sitting at home. So if you can sit at home and collect $15
That's why
Well,
we have
an
to
hour.
not in
stop this
not in Florida.
emergency fund.
I think once that stops, you've got a whole slew of people come out.
Mhm.
And yeah, they'll fill up McDonald's, they'll fill up Chick-fil-A. They'll get jobs where they used to work at Crystal's and they used to work at the bowling alley or wherever. These like $15 an hour jobs. But
$10.
some of them will go back to cleaning like they were probably doing before all this. And maybe that need would go down more. But for right now, I mean,
I need a cleaner right
wow.
now.
Let me just make an LLC. I'll get an operating.
How long does it take to make an LLC?
Can I
I
operate?
literally think I'm gonna make one like.
can I
next
work
week.
under Aaron's LLC?
You can. You're just not gonna be.
I mean,
I
don't- okay,
you-
first
I
of
have
all,
to pay Aaron, and I have to pay Aaron, and he has to pay you.
Okay.
Hot, you're not getting any money.
Aaron, what's my hourly rate?
I'll give you like $12 an hour.
Oh my god. I'd rather just work in the air conditioning.
That's how it goes. That's
Nah,
pretty
it's-
awesome, man.
I
I
looked
like
this up,
actually
but
need the
LLC
place cleaned the next few
requirements.
days. I'm not
Wow.
joking.
So you are. Let me ask you this.
Yeah, you
Steven.
need
So-
a registered. Oh yeah, operating agreement. Oh, articles of organization. That's another thing. that you
It
need.
sounds like
And then you need licenses, permits.
cleaning's kind of a unique problem because cleaning services are typically, you know, this lady has her car. It says maid services, cleaning services on there.
Yeah.
Most of them probably don't have an LLC, but it sounds like you have to find someone that does have an LLC. So I feel like could be plenty of cleaners out there, but because they don't all have LLCs.
You know what's really funny? I'll tell you a joke. One, there's a pretty big company called Two Maids One Broom, and they were gonna charge me $230 to do it under their name.
Gosh, dang.
Right?
Hey, if I get charged
apparently
$230, I'll do it.
one of the maids overheard me talking to the supervisor, and right after I hang up the phone, because I was like, I'm not paying $230 for one place. I get a text from somebody that says, I'll do it for $150. But it was just her not being paid through the LLC. Right?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that the cleaning companies that have the name, the LLC, the marketing,
you're paying.
They can literally just broker out to littler guys. They would just get the $150 person to do it.
Oh, now John's thinking like a brokerage.
So this is really just a brokerage.
Yeah.
So this is like in the same scenario where a very sketchy logistics brokerage would be like, oh, we have a good MC number. We're credible, but we're going to pay some driver to do it for cheap. And then it'll still appear to our customer that we're doing it. In the same way, we'll just hire this person that really needs work right now, and we'll just broker it. So, Steven, I have to ask you, would you be okay if I was your third-party maid service? And if I somehow got an LLC, Steven, what I could guarantee for you is I could guarantee you I'll always have somebody cleaning your place. And you'll always be paying me. You'll always be paying me, and I'm going to probably keep it at like $170. Probably $150. But I'll always have someone clean. It won't be the same person each time. It'll be under my LLC, though. I mean...
That might be a good strat.
No.
You would have to test it
like,
in the marketplace
exactly.
to see if it actually works.
And you can do the same thing with lawn mowing.
But so then,
Yeah,
okay,
sure.
so that is legal.
Definitely.
If I have a cleaning LLC, I can just pay anybody. But like, don't they have to be insured though? Like, do you know that other trucker's insured?
No, and they're not insured. Well, at TMC, we do require them to have $100,000 insurance on their cargo and $1 million insurance, commercial general liability. But as it stands, that's the biggest reason why we can't get trucks. Because so few trucks have that much insurance that it limits the amount of trucks that can haul.
So
you
have to. So
but
yes.
We have
so
to,
the question is yes.
And we have a very strict policy, but yes, we do.
Okay, exactly. Like that makes total sense, right? Because you can't just have any bum like destroying your
wrecks
your
a bunch of stuff, and then it blows back in TMC's face like
Yeah,
you guys
exactly.
wanted to do it. But then it gets even more interesting because we even have some scenarios, and this isn't TMC directly, but where it goes fourth party, and I broker out the cleaning service. John's cleaning service.
What happens if like that? If you broker out something and they broker out and they
as long as it was agreed upon.
So
everybody had insurance.
They would get in trouble, right? The one you brokered it.
Whoever did the work is the one that's going to get in trouble. If they somehow say, "Oh, we don't have insurance, we can't pay for this," that's when it goes to the next step. Or we're dissolving, we can't do this.
So like,
then it goes to the next step.
if you told a company to get you a truck and they got a truck from another company and that truck crashed, could that go to you? To back to TMC? I guess the most fault would go to that middle company.
If that middle, I don't really have a lot of like compliance knowledge, but I do know that insurance is there for a reason. If it crashes, maybe it's a couple $100,000. If the middle company, so not the last company, but the broker that we brokered out, if they have insurance, I think it would just stop right there.
Yeah, because
it's probably something it's probably happened before. I mean,
what's the most crazy like accident you've seen in your that's happened like while you're there?
We had a claim the other day. Actually, it wasn't anything crazy. I think he was like pulling off into a rest area and somebody rear-ended him. It really just causes more paperwork than you'd think. It's just compliance. We have a whole
free insurance
department.
Money.
No. There's like nothing exciting about this stuff because the insurance company just sees it all as a statistic. Oh, okay. Statistically, they're gonna have one car accident. They have 3,000 trucks in their fleet. There's nothing. Thankfully, the driver wasn't harmed or anything. But
yeah,
John, you're talking to people with a mortgage podcast. I think this is interesting.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
I know. I think, dude. Every week I find a new person that's in logistics, and I think it is pretty cool.
Logistics is the underground industry.
Yeah, and especially in Jacksonville.
Behind the scenes. Oh yeah, 100%.
Like,
Steven, so basically, I'm going to make John's cleaning service.
I'm making LLC, right?
And I'm going to pay And that's where it stops for you. You're just gonna see John's cleaning service. You're gonna see the invoice.
I'm gonna do it.
Now, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna pay. You pay me $170. I'm gonna turn around and find Aaron's cleaning service and pay him $150.
And then he's gonna find somebody
And
to
then
pay.
Aaron's cleaning service is gonna contact Nathan's cleaning service, and he's gonna pay him $90.
Oh gosh.
And Aaron's really the one that makes all the money right here. But little did we know, Nathan's cleaning service had no insurance. He just knocked over a $10,000 vase, and he just completely leaves. He might even have insurance, but he's like, nope. Aaron tries to track him down. Aaron tries to call him. It all blows up in Aaron's face. Aaron could still leave as well. Blows up in my face. And, I think the brokering scenario where you have no overhead,
Yeah.
you have all the liability always. This is definitely made as an anomaly for the brokering scenario, real estate, logistics, stocks. They're much bigger and more regulated, but it's just, I think the maid idea and the lawn mowing brokering idea, I could just see 1 yard somebody hits a cat with an edger or something like that, and it just my cat was worth $10,000 or whatever, and
it would be I would have the biggest liability insurance, so I could cover those things.
How much does your insurance cover?
I think up to $300,000 in damage.
For $45 a month.
Yeah, so it's pretty.
It's statistics.
Yeah,
statistically, lawnmowers must never claim that $300,000
because they know it's gonna go up. And
Yeah.
all that shit.
Because they're
There was
just
this one dude.
what's your deductible? Do you have a deductible? What's $2,000, $3,000?
I think it's 1.5. So
what
1,500.
lawn mowing accident ever costs more than $1,500?
Yeah.
The insurance companies
So,
don't even see anything.
It's kind of
that happens
funny.
under
So
$1,500.
remember, I was telling you that our lawn company for the 16 unit gets paid $250 a month. When the new buyer comes in, I'm gonna need a new lawn company. I'm not even joking.
Oh,
Aaron,
really?
That's where it. There you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have my business card in my car.
Really?
Now you
No,
know.
yeah.
Now you know you're getting paid at least.
But
$250.
it's okay. Then let me interview you. What materials do you have to do this 2-acre property?
So I would probably
No,
spend.
I don't think it's 2 acres.
I would probably spend.
What's the address?
I'll charge you a flat rate. I have a
Tell
push
you
mower.
the parcel number you want.
I have a push mower. So it
I
might
was
take
gonna
me
be.
about.
It would be so much work, Aaron, with a push mower.
I'll
I'm
take
telling you
it.
the truth.
I'll take it.
It's a lot.
Does
of
he cut
fucking
it?
work.
What did
Because-
the old dude?
Because the moment I get.
He has
I'm-
this huge ass.
But
mower.
did he cut it once a month? What do you do?
It's every week supposedly.
He cut a 2-acre property
It's
once
not
a
2
week.
acre. What?
He cut it once a week for $250 total a month.
It's not 2 acres.
What's the parcel number?
It's probably an acre 0.5.
I was about to say
I
that.
don't know.
It seems
It's in my
I
low.
want to find it.
It's
But-
go okay. I can show you if you go to the appraiser's website.
No, I'm on Zillow.
Oh, you're not gonna find it.
No,
I just want to get
let
an
me
overhead.
let me just get an interest.
All right.
I can. No, but the appraiser's website is only gonna show you the square feet.
Yeah, I can just look at the grass, how much there is.
Yeah, I was gonna just cover square footage.
Okay.
Well, Aaron,
look
while
up-
we're waiting on this,
look up 5643
5, 6,
Merrill Road.
5, 6, what? 4, 3.
5643 Merrill Road, and I'll tell you where it is. On Google Maps.
Aaron, how is lawn mowing going? By the way,
Well, so far, I think I've lost a client because
what?
Nathan says I lost it.
Nathan ran over their cat.
Oh,
No. So it's just basically an eviction thing.
Oh,
The person across the street, I postponed their
lawn care.
No, I hear that, John. Every movement you do.
Oops.
So, anyways, yeah. So lawn care. So I postponed their yard because there's stuff in their lawn. It's like a free garage sale.
You should have just fucking mowed around it, bro.
Well, the thing is, I'm gonna do that. So,
I mean, yeah, it's their fault that that stuff was
So
there.
I'm gonna do that next week. I'm gonna basically tell her, "Hey, your grass is getting," but I'm trying to be friendly to grow at the same time.
Right.
So I don't want to be a.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, just say,
Right.
hey, we're still
Yeah.
gonna mow. Your stuff is there, but
Yeah.
So-
So
I'll help you out.
How much of a trust basis you on? Because I've actually got a couple customers where sometimes, like at my determination, I just won't mow their whole backyard,
yeah.
and I still charge the same price. Like I'll still charge for a front and back cutting. I just
Yeah, so like in this, all the yards that we mow, they know us pretty well. So
yeah.
we can't really like, you know. Now, granted, the person across the street, their whole backyard is leaves, and we didn't mow that one time because it would just be dust everywhere, and there's really no grass.
Yeah,
so,
I know. Yeah.
So yeah, we just mowed the front yard, which looks fantastic, like amazing grass, right? Except the whole backyard is just leaves, and it doesn't make any sense.
John,
it's like a whole different
don't
yard,
you use like a sit down mower?
I used to have one, but not anymore. Highest margin percentage, push mower, small yards,
Really?
single man show, 100%. No LLC, no insurance.
No, 100%. Like
I mean-
you, like as a 60, like you in your neighborhood could destroy like.
Yeah, I mean,
How many yards do you have?
right now 5.
5. Okay.
At your max, what did you have?
37.
Yeah, it was like 35 or 37.
I was in high school.
That was in senior year. Yeah, that was senior year after I graduated,
Okay.
I believe. But the year before, I think we had like 20-ish,
Yeah.
25-ish.
And was that all in your neighborhood?
Pretty awesome.
All in the neighborhood,
All
yeah. The
St.
farthest
Nicholas?
house away was less than a quarter mile.
Gosh dang.
That's
So it was
awesome. So that-
all
So
St. Nicholas
what
Preservation
that
Area.
tells me is that neighborhood is primed and ready to go for someone just to swoop in.
Right. I mean, that whole neighborhood had 313 houses, and then I had 30. I want to say it was somewhere between 35 and 37. So I had 10% of all the houses in the neighborhood,
Yeah.
and we definitely made the approach very similar to yours. Like, hey, we live in the neighborhood just like you do.
Yeah.
We're concerned about how your yard looks because, like, we don't want to make the neighborhood look like trash because we're proud of it too. And now that I think about it, we did mow this one guy's yard. He lived like across Atlantic, but he also owned a rental property in St. Nicholas, so that's how we got attached to that property. But
Let's see.
yeah,
Dang, so you were mowing for a rental property. That's pretty cool.
actually, Andy is the one that controls that customer right now, and
So does Andy
Still
have
mows that one.
5 other ones?
Andy has 4 more, I think.
How
Yeah.
many does Fred have any?
No, Fred doesn't have any. Fred opted out of the business.
Dang, that's cool that Andy has some too.
Yeah, it's like kind of it was a split really because like when we first split off, we still kept some yards. We were like, yeah, we're going back to school. We're actually cutting most of the customers, but we can keep your yard.
Do you have any other people that call you once in a while and say, "Hey"?
I've
my
had, actually several times on Facebook, I've seen in the group that I'm in, people ask for lawn mowing help.
Yeah.
And some of them were the people that I dumped. And I've actually seen other people post in the group, contact St. Nicholas Lawn Service, which is what we called ourselves. So like,
Yeah.
I've definitely been reached out to multiple times,
That's funny.
or even just driving by. People would be. I've definitely since we scaled
At
down.
like church, do you see people that are like,
Oh
"Hey,
yeah,
you know,
there's
mow my
one
lawn?"
guy that I see up there. There's one dude that does communion. There's one dude that's an usher. There's one dude, like so many of these people that go to the 8 o'clock mass, like just this one mass.
The body of Christ.
I
Hey, I'll
see
you
him.
at 8.
Yeah. Hey, can you mow my yard? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's such a when you know like so many people like in the neighborhood.
That's awesome. That's really
Well,
nothing.
well, I showed you the program that makes it
Connections are
so much
everything.
easier.
And Aaron, if I had that when I was doing when I did invoices for like 30 plus customers, like I spent a lot of time on the books.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about the most advanced I had I had an Excel sheet with 30 tabs. And each
Gosh,
tab.
dang.
Wait, what do you?
Each
So what do
tab.
you use, Aaron? And what does it cost? Does it cost you anything a month?
Yard books, ready for this? I pay a hefty fee of $0 a month.
$0 a
For
month.
yard books? It's
Yeah.
called yard books.
Yes, and
It's
it's
a free software.
It's free. Yes.
Can I see it? You.
After the podcast.
Oh,
It's
VIP
so and does that
podcast.
makes the invoices too?
yeah. So it auto generates. So I make a job, right? Now we're going into lawn mowing, but basically,
No, awesome.
I make a job on the calendar. Once I complete it, I make it billable. So that means at the end of the month, I can just auto.
Does your invoice have your address and everything on it?
Yes. Yeah. And that's just
Even my
for
rinky
mailing.
dink ones had them.
Yeah, that's just for mailing if they want to mail it in a
Exactly.
check, which I kind of want to move away from. So I actually got my first person on credit card, like card on file. So I'm just gonna build them every month.
But then that takes like 3%, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, but in retrospect, I rather have it that than, a check coming in the
you can
mail.
cash
You know
it
how much paperwork that would be, like papers, if I grow to where.
Dude, you know
I
what's
get
crazy?
checks.
I get checks for all my commissions. It doesn't go into my account. I literally have to cash all my commission checks. It's kind of cool though. I kind of like doing it. It's like, but it is kind of annoying to have to go to the
Okay.
bank. John, what are you doing? Is that a check in there?
It's a lawn mowing check. Here's a prime example right here.
Dang. So I really thought everybody paid you cash.
I know it's
Lawn mowing check for 2 mowings, $60.
That's
Payable
fine.
to John White.
That's hilarious. It's kind of
Yep.
funny. At the same time, it's like, how many people use personal checks these days?
It's usually the older people
Yeah.
that do it, but I mean, like,
John, do you have any checks? Personal checks?
Yeah, I've got some here.
You do? With what bank? ViStar?
I have some with ViStar
I have-
and some with Bank United.
I have all of them. So I have like 3 bank accounts. No, sorry, 2. And
How many of them are
I've checked.
offshore, Aaron?
Do you? Okay,
None.
okay.
Man.
I've never done this. John, do you take a picture of it and scan it in?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. So you just
yeah,
scan
mobile-
it.
So
mobile
you just do
depo-
that, and it
mobile
just goes
deposit.
into your account.
Well,
Wait.
it'll take.
No, usually I'm like strict with the background. There it is.
You gotta
Yeah.
have a darker background.
Yeah, you gotta have a darker background, and that's ViStar, right? Yeah, I use the same thing.
So, like, have you heard of like the money fraud people try to do? Well, they'll like take a picture of it, and then like to submit it, and then they'll also go to the bank and try to cash it out.
That is definitely check fraud. That is definitely check fraud.
Yeah,
Isn't that crazy? Like, you could technically do that, and I think
And I got
people used to do that with money
Yeah.
orders at Publix, and so now we don't cash. Publix doesn't cash money orders; they just make money orders.
Wow, look at that! It caught that I didn't sign the back of the check, so it said deposit failed.
How did
So I
it
just need to get
catch
a pen.
that?
Dude, it's just that
That's
good.
crazy.
yeah. Have you seen it? So if
I've
you go
never
into
done
your
it.
checking
Later.
account
I guess I should start doing that so I don't have to go to the
So,
bank every.
in
Oh,
ViStar,
definitely.
if you go in your checking account, you can actually see the check that you took a
That's
picture of.
the
it.
other. That's the other reason I like it, because when I would be lazy about these 30 people, and like I think 20 of them paid by check, and I'd
Really?
be trying to remember. Like I was like
I'm surprised
really.
20 paid by check.
Yeah, I had so many checks. Like I could probably, after the podcast, I'll open up my safe. I think I still have like massive folders of just checks.
And that's what I don't want because
and it would get so unorganized because I would know that I'd been paid like $2,100 out of the total $2,400 that I factored to Fred and Andy, but I wouldn't know which people paid. Like I was lazy. I didn't mark down, okay, Jerry paid, Tom paid, Linda
so
paid.
you know what's fantastic about Yardbooks is that once they open the email, I can see if they opened it, and then if they paid it, it gives an automatic payment, or I can manually input it
Yeah,
if
that's-
they put in a check. So
Versus me, I'd literally be clicking in the ViStar entries and then opening up the pictures of the checks. Oh, that one says Jerry on it. Okay, Jerry paid. Thank you for staying tuned. Thank you.
well,
Thank you for tuning into Green Dreams tonight with us, and we will see you guys next Thursday.
Say that again.
Saturday now, remember?
Thank you for tuning into Green Dreams with us, where we talk about all entrepreneurship, foreclosure, forbearance, and consumer price index inquiries. Have a good night.
Say it again. One more time.
What the hell?
Don't say all that crap. Just make it short. and sweet.
Thank you for tuning into Green Dreams, and we'll see you next time.